Hey guys, Braden from Adrenalin Rush. In this episode of the Kite program, we're going to go over the deadlift. Now, the deadlift is a very fundamental exercise I think everybody should be doing. Initially, when I got into the gym, I didn't do deadlifts a lot because I just didn't know how to do it properly. Had hurt my back one or two times on it, and I stayed away from it for a long time. Then eventually, as we got a little bit more educated and we got back into strength and conditioning, really found out the deadlift is quite a simple exercise to do if you're done safely, and it's quite effective. Now, the reason why you'd want to do a deadlift is basically one, your lifestyle might be very inactive. So if you sit in an office cubicle all day, or you sit down a lot, you're an operator or whatever, you generally when you sit down, you turn your hamstrings and glutes off, or your posterior chain, which is everything behind the midline of your body. So if that all turns off, it gets inactive, then we have some muscle imbalance and activation imbalance in there. So one exercise, and one of the most fundamental exercises that you can use to help strengthen that posterior chain, especially the hamstring and glutes, is the deadlift. Now the deadlift, and even taking it all the way back, what the deadlift is fundamentally is picking something off the ground with the neutral spine and trying to dissipate force evenly. So you can imagine if you're picking up your child off the ground, or shopping trolley, shopping bags, or whatever, it's the same principle. So basically with the deadlift, we're just going to run through it, and then just you see it's really basic. Now the big thing with the deadlift in the starting position is basically you want to make sure the bar is running across the top of the shoelaces there. Now I don't like to walk up and have the bar against my shins, just because it doesn't give you enough room for you to get into a good starting position. So I make sure my feet are under my hips. Now with the grip on the bar, basically you can go alternating if you want, or you can go double overhand. It's not really that specific. If you only go for weight and you're doing more heavy deadlifts, then I generally use an alternating, but a double overhand's fine as well. Now the main thing with the starting position is whereabouts your body's going to be in space. So when I set up for a deadlift, I make sure that my hands are pretty even inside these two spots here. So the start of the knurling and the start of the next notch. Well, basically if I go thumb width from the edge of the knurling here, I'll try and go thumb width from there as well. Now with the deadlift, I like to keep my everything in straight lines, feet under hips, and what I do is I pull myself under tension and I try and really keep a nice straight back, engaging the core. Now the first movement is to pull the knees back, and once the bar is over past the knees, then you can stand it up, okay? I'll demonstrate. So I set myself up, make sure my hands are even on the bar. When I'm ready, I pull myself under tension, make sure the bar's close to the body, I engage the lift, stand it up. Now notice the bar didn't leave my body at all. I break at the knees, bum comes back, and I go straight back down. That's a deadlift. Now, the big thing that I think you should try and consider is if you do deadlifts properly the next day, you shouldn't really feel too bad in the lower back, but you might be a little bit sore across your shoulders, because what that's doing is you're resisting your urge to round the shoulders over like this. So if you're going to pull the bar, you're not trying to do this, you're trying to keep a nice straight back. The next big thing is making sure we're not lifting our head up too much as well. So if we do get in our starting position, we don't want to be like this. We want to have a nice neutral spine, okay? And it's basically just staying nice and even on the ground and not trying to rip the bar too hard off the ground. So that's the deadlift, really simple exercise. Make sure the bar stays close to the body the entire time. Knees come back. Once the bar gets past the knees, stand all the way up. Don't arch all the way back and try and be a hero. Stand it up till you're fully extended. Shoulders over hips, knees and ankles. Break at the knees, bar comes down and back to the ground. Quite simple. If you're unsure, start on a broomstick and work your way up. I'm Braden from Adrenalin Rush. I hope you learned a little bit about the deadlift today. Very simple exercise. Go and try it for yourself. Thanks for watching this video, guys.
Check out adrenalinrush.net.au for all the links.